Loved that it was going to be such a challenge. It was such an interesting new idea. The originality of the material really drew me in. You know, this was a big giant event film, an adventure movie that wasn't based on a superhero movie. It's not a sequel. The title is taken from a comic book, but that's about it. And I thought, wow, they're coming up with this new idea, and they're mashing together two genres that no one has ever considered mashable before, and I thought it was a really good idea. And I loved the way it was being approached, with a real reverence for the Western genre. You know, it was it's sort of a mixture of Unforgiven and what's the best kind of sci-fi film to compare it to? Close Encounters. So I think that really drew me in, the idea that it was actually a serious take on this idea, with a lot of comedy, of course. Jon Favreau is directing, and so you've always got a really good wit to the dialogue. But I was drawn in by the people involved and by the originality of the material. Ella is the female member of this cowboy posse riding out to find their people who've been snatched up by mysterious beings. They think they're demons. She has sort of slinked into town unnoticed. She's very mysterious. She's wearing a gun. She's not a cowgirl or a ranch hand or a prostitute. She's something else. And she's very intrigued by Daniel Craig's blaster that he's wearing, this mysterious bracelet thing. And she needs something from him. And so we immediately sort of wonder whether she has dark intentions, whether she means to manipulate him and use him for good or for evil. Learned a lot from Harrison and Daniel, also from John. I'm an aspiring director as well, and so watching him very closely was really interesting to me. Watching people like Sam Rockwell and Paul Dano, who took smaller characters and made such meals out of them. I mean, I think Rockwell's my favorite character in the movie. And I just felt very lucky to be sitting with all these people who really loved Westerns, too. We had John Wayne's grandson is in the movie, Brendan Wayne, so we felt somehow that was a good omen for the project. We had a lot of really great character actors. We had Walt Goggins, who plays the head of the Outlaws, just an extraordinary, funny performance. So I remember our first table read. We were sitting in the old Western town that we ended up blowing up. And I looked around the table and I thought, wow, this is major. This is special. Well, the day I was cast, I said, when do I get on a horse? And it was about 3 months before we started shooting, and I drove out to the middle of nowhere in California and started riding hours every day, riding Western, because I grew up riding English, but I'd never ridden Western. So it was a learning process for me, and I threw myself into it. I wanted to be really confident on the horse, because this is a woman who's been, you know, riding her entire life, and there's an effortlessness to it that I really wanted to capture. When you watch old Westerns, you know, you can tell John Wayne has been riding a horse since he was 4 years old. He hardly has to move. He's not holding onto the horn, you know, desperately. So I wanted that to be realistic, and I wanted to be able to tell John, let me do all my own stunts. And, you know, I remember one amazing day where Daniel and I were galloping across this field, and we were going as fast as we possibly could, and it was just this moment where I realized kind of the enormity of the entire experience and how blessed we were, and how cool it was. And that shot is certainly in the movie, and I love it. You can tell we're really flying across the field. We were very lucky to have Spielberg and Ron Howard and Brian Grazer involved as well, because they really know film, and they know how to bring these all these genres separately to their best quality, and then also to meld them together. And Favreau is a master of tone. So he knows how to make it consistent and to keep it grounded in reality.